Hey, this is Mikael from Tranquillity, the Halo Fed, over and Cemetery Skyline, and this is Chaoszine, of course.
Okay, so what's up everyone? Chaoszine is today here at John Smith Rocks Festival, and I have Mikael from many bands today as guest.
Yes, it's very nice to be here.
How are you?
I'm good, I'm great. It's fantastic to be back at this amazing festival.
This is one of the best ones in Finland, easily.
If not the world. It's been awesome. We arrived yesterday and we actually rehearsed on stage and all that stuff, so we're ready. It's fantastic.
And the name of the game is today Cemetery Skyline.
Yes, our first ever show. Super exciting. It's been nerve-wracking. It was suggested that we should do a show this year. I immediately got super nervous and I couldn't sleep because I figured, like, how is this going to work? Are we going to, be able to do it? Just on a technical point of view, and also, am I going to be able to sing a fucking rock concert? I had never done that. This is my first show ever as a proper singer.
Yeah, and you said to me last year, like off the camera, that you have this project, but most likely I'm not gonna perform with it. And here you are today.
Yeah. We're really bad at saying no to things, it turns out, and I am too. So, the idea was, I don't know, it was just a project, of course, at first, and we just wanted to do something together because we've been friends for so long, but. Then it turned into this, and then, and now there are shows next year as well planned, so let's see.
Okay,
yeah.
But like you said, this is like clean singing, and you've done mostly, everybody knows you by growling your lungs out, so This is like very, very different environment for you.
It is, you don't even break a sweat, it's very new to me.
Yeah,
but it's fun, and I've learned a lot just by, being part of the writing these songs and recording it, and now rehearsing for a couple of days. It feels great, but it's not something that I'm very used to, but let's see.
Was it like very nerve-wracking because you just do like clean singing, and was it like difficult to do this album also, because do you think about the songs also in a like growling way?
No, I don't, no, but it's actually kind of the opposite sometimes. I can, with DT stuff, I'll sing, what I want to do, kind of, express, and then I'll scream it,
Okay, so you'll add, like, sort of in a way, or mix it in the end.
Or I'm thinking, like, kind of melodically, as I'm writing.
Okay.
Or lyrics and words and, like, phrases and stuff, but...
Yeah, so, this is not that much different, but it's still, it's basic rock songs, and my fear with this project was that I would fail the other guys, because I thought that the songs that were great, like the stuff that Santeri and Marcus has written, is fantastic, and it felt like it was up to me to
make them shine in a way.
No, it was up to me to destroy it. That's how it felt. Like it's like I'm gonna mess this up, and honestly, there were many times that I felt like maybe they should get another singer. I can't do this, but then they convinced me, and I said, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And then we did. So I'm really happy with it, and it turned out incredibly well. I'm incredibly proud of the album. I can't wait for the whole thing to kind of be out and people listen to it. Just a couple of singles, but it also feels weird. We just did a signing session here at the festival before our first show and before our album. I don't know why you do that, but we did.
But there was a lot of people already.
Yeah. It was nice. It was super nice, actually.
But when is the last time that you have actually sing a concert? Have you ever done that in your life?
No, this is the first.
You have to start from somewhere.
I guess 35 years later, yeah.
So in terms of like writing lyrics for this upcoming Cemetery Skyline album, was it like any way different approach?
Yeah. When we started, we didn't really know what to do, Marcus had an idea and Santa had an idea, and I didn't really know how to fit into that. Do we do it very seriously, or do we do it as kind of like a spoof on the genre of goth rock,
Yeah, so you had to go through that kind of discussions that...
Yeah.
How do we want this to turn out?
Yeah, and so it was a lot of kind of trial and error, recording demos and this is kind of cool, but then maybe not. And then, so so we sent demos back and forth, and this was during the pandemic, which made it easier, of course. Unlimited time and nothing on the schedule. That meant, like, finally we were like, yeah, we're on to something here. We had like 3, 4 songs, 5 songs, 7 songs. We were like, yeah, cool. Now let's move forward. But it was, of course, different, and also like I wanted to write about something that was kind of fitting to the genre. And the way I kind of view it is like this is the kind of music that I grew up with, like melancholy pop and goth rock, and like just like the bands that, had something to say, I thought, or was part of like kind of my upbringing. When I kind of moved away from home when I was like 19, this is all I listened to, it was all Sisters of Mercy, The Mission, and bands like that. I was like, this is it, like I loved it so much. And so this is kind of like our attempt at, kind of reconnecting with something that was super important to us, as kids, or as, young adults, whatever you want to call it. But so I kind of dug up stories like about loneliness and about kind of, broken hearts and all the kind of like the stuff that maybe is kind of cheesy, but at the same time, like I had stories to use or to draw upon from my life and from others that I felt kind of like, finally, yeah, this is the forum for it. This is the kind of music that would fit these kind of lyrics or these kind of stories, actually. So that was interesting and maybe not easy, but it was kind of like, yeah, once I kind of got a grasp of what I thought this album should be, then it was kind of easy going. And the overall kind of theme of the album is self-chosen loneliness. I mean, here in the Nordics, in Sweden, we have more people living by themselves than anywhere else in the world.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No, it's the loneliest country in the world, like just by how many people live by themselves, but it's not loneliness, it's just solitude. It's like being by yourself. And I've been reading a lot about it and just how that makes people feel, and and how it's very different, in terms of in Southern Europe maybe you have your family, all that systems, but whereas here it's kind of like, no, I'm fine, I'll be good. So and I have a lot of friends who live like that, who live their lives like that, and I kind of drew on some of their experiences and things in order to kind of get a feel for what this album should be. So it was interesting to kind of dive into it, and but it's a lot of heartache and darkness too, just because it feels right and it just fits the songs, So that was the interesting part, to just finding, as I said, like finding that right balance and that right mood, and that this album kind of needs.
Was it like difficult? Did you have like writer's block where to start with this? Because like you have now 4 bands and you have like different themes with each band, but do you ever get that to a point that just I don't have anything to say?
I mean, as with everything you do kind of creatively, you go through these feelings, right? Where you go like, oh, I have absolutely nothing to say. Everything I do right, I've done before, or no one will ever care. And then you hate yourself for it, and then the next day you read it and you're like, maybe it's not that bad. And then you find a new kind of energy to kind of move on.
But how do you like overcome these feelings, or does it just like you just overcome them like naturally?
I mean, maybe not naturally, but just keep working. Keep doing it and keep writing again and changing things, and until you're like, yeah, actually, okay, now I'm starting to get there. It's a long process, and it should be, because it's that's part of the deal. You make with yourself, like this. If I want to write something that it feels important to me, or something that I can be proud of, it has to take time, and it has. If it's easy, it's not good enough.
I was gonna watch for the album title that it's called Nordic Gothic.
Yeah.
So is this album sort of in a way like one of your like most important ones as a singer, in a way, because you are like clean singing and most likely learning quite a lot about yourself as a singer?
Maybe as a singer, for sure. I mean, it's definitely like, as I said, like it's extremely different from anything I've done, and I was, maybe not terrified, but at least very hesitant about doing it.
And even going now and playing it live, I guess it's like even more nerve-wracking.
Not about it too much, but yeah, no, we have practiced enough, and I feel confident. But no, so in that sense, yes. But at the same time, like as with the other bands that I kind of started like the last couple of years, it's been more kind of like, how can we hang out more, as friends? And, because the reason we started these bands are so that we can hang out more, and kind of explore different things that you normally wouldn't, in your own bands kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that, for me, that's what it's about. So when this kind of came up and Marcus contacted me and I was like, yeah, it sounds fun, and all of a sudden, like, I did have time, and I was in a mood to say yes to anything, basically. And recording it was fantastic, actually. Like, it was such a different vibe. Normally, I'm, doing a DT album. It's, was the last album was our 13th album, so it's just about finding something new to say, something new to do, something different that we've never done before, and that's the hard part, and that's why it takes forever for us to write stuff, because you have to kind of consider everything you've done in the past, whereas this is brand new. Anything goes, and nobody has any expectations. Nobody knows what it's going to be. We didn't even plan on releasing an album, or maybe we did, but we never talked about it. We just wrote songs because it was fun. It was fun, actually. Like, we're on tour with Amorphis in Europe, and we just finished like a 4-track demo. Sander mixed it, and it sounded really great, and we were like, cool, but what should we actually send this to maybe record companies? Like, is it good enough? Is it worth it? And we just only played it for a couple of friends, just people who we know very well, and who were kind of interested in whatever we were doing. So then we actually sent it out to like 4 record companies that we knew that would probably dig it. And then we went to bed, or we continued drinking. and the next morning, like, when I woke up and I got into the venue, we were in Germany somewhere, like, Sunday just came up to me, it's like, 4 yeses. And so all the 4 record companies said, yes, we want this. So that felt good, like, really, really cool. Just knowing that, maybe there is an audience for this, or at least they think it is. So let's see.
So you are busy with also other bands than Cemetery Skyline. There's also Dark Tranquillity End Time Signals coming up on August 16th. So how has it been to like balancing with this all? And with, like you said, with Dark Tranquillity, it's like your 13th album or something like that. So was it like difficult, easy to make?
It's always difficult. It really is difficult. But this was really cool just because it was extremely different from what we normally do. The last couple of albums have been kind of like straightforward, but at the same time very much about compromise, because like Anders Jevap used to write a lot of stuff, and then Martin wrote some, and then Johan came in, and we all kind of like compromised in order to kind of get to a point where we all kind of like, yeah, this is cool.
Okay.
Whereas this new album is just Johan and Martin writing, and we had a very kind of clear idea of what we wanted this to be, like how we wanted it to sound and how we wanted it to feel more than anything. We felt like, okay, now we have like some changes in the lineup, and we feel like we're in kind of like a new band. So this had to matter more than anything. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make sure that this has to kind of be like a new beginning or a fresh new start, whatever, all the cliches that you use for like to start over again. But it actually did feel that way. We felt that we could do anything. Like Joakim on drums is fucking amazing, and he can play anything. Christian is such a great bass player, and Johan, he was kind of left free rein, so he can play his heart out on guitar, and it just it opened up so many kind of possibilities and opportunities, and kind of like inspired us to do things that we maybe haven't done before or never felt kind of comfortable doing before.
But that's always a good thing, because those guys give like fresh blood in a way also.
Yeah, and it's not just, like, oh yeah, new guys, let's use it. It's more kind of like an overall kind of vibe in the band as well, and a feeling that, hey, we're onto something here, and it felt fantastic. So I could not be more proud of it, and it's super heavy, and it's dark, and it's dystopian, and not very positive at all.
So a little bit different than this like love album in a way that you are now putting out. So
definitely
other side of the road.
And and again, that's why this is interesting. If it's just more of the same, then what's the point? DT should always kind of move forward and always be kind of progressive and kind of try new things, you know.
But that's what you've always done.
Yeah, and that's the challenge, always the challenge, and always like the biggest, not hurdle, but you know, the hardest part to kind of get right.
Yeah.
But in the end, we have to trust each other and trust the process of writing, and then eventually we will get there, you know. But sometimes it takes forever, sometimes it takes, you know, 2 months or whatever. But hopefully we got there this time, and it feels really cool. Like I cannot wait for this album to come out, and we're doing like a release show at Summer Breeze in Germany, Dinkelsbühl, on the 15th, and I'm super excited to kind of start this kind of new phase of the band.
Do you like discuss about these things before you even start writing? That where do we want to go as a band?
Yeah.
Because you have a long history already.
Yeah. I mean, mostly it's me and Martin and Johan. Like we talk about just what's the vibe? Like what do we feel about this? Like where should we go? What is important to us? Like all those things, and we spend a lot of time in the studio. Basically, you know, months and months just working on stuff and figuring things out and tweaking and erasing and starting new, you know, all those things before we feel like, all right, we're onto something here. And then if it starts to feel good, then we continue working. But we throw away so much too.
But after 12 albums, I guess it's also quite, I would say, normal that it's difficult to please yourself.
Yeah, of course. And it has to. Like if it doesn't feel new and fresh and interesting, and you know, then what's the point? Then you're just repeating yourself. And, No
but
fun.
there's also good examples of that you can be successful with that as well.
Of course, but
it's not for you.
Not for us. No.
Yeah. So there's a third band also, the Halo Effect. And you finished an album, was it like early this year or something like that?
Even earlier, actually. Like it's been done for a while. Yeah, I think that's the hardest part for our labels, in order to squeeze stuff in and have room enough to, you know, promote and make sure that, you know, everybody knows about it. So we pushed the release until early next year, but the singles are gonna start coming out after the DT album is out. So that's the idea. But it's really cool. I'm incredibly proud of it. It sounds awesome. Like Niklas and Jesper have written some incredible songs that are very, like a different level of confidence, I think. Because the first album was just kind of like, let's see what can happen. You know,
and it was received like, I guess, way better than you ever expected.
Yeah,
because everybody seems to like it.
Yeah. It's been great. Can't complain. Yeah, feels like a more confident band. Like everybody knows exactly what to do now, and you know, so the album sounds awesome, and it's gonna be cool. Like it comes out early next year, and then we're gonna tour in Europe as well after that. So busy times ahead, as always. But it's cool. Like I think it's gonna be announced like in the end of September.
Will it gonna be like Jesper also with you on the road again, or will he still remain like as a studio guy mostly, and it will be like Jensen playing tours with you, or?
Most likely. Whenever Jesper wants to, he's always, you know, we want him, so we're always ready. Like if he's up to it, then he will join us, you know. But it's always up to him, and we always said like, we were there. Jensen's always gonna be there. If Jesper wants to play, then we're here, you know. So that's the kind of the deal we made early on. It's easy.
Before we wrap things up, how would you summarize your future? How does it look like?
Busy, but fun. Like we have good plans for up until Christmas next year. I told myself like I'm not going to write anything more in like a year or two. And just
don't say it in front of this.
No. But really try to enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like there are 3 albums coming out in the next couple of months, and then so it's going to be just touring and hanging out and traveling, of course. But so I look forward to it. It's going to be
the nice part of being a musician.
Yeah, depending on your preference, but I like it. It's a lot of work, of course, but it's, I think it's going to be cool. Like we've decided to not do too much, but also do a lot, you know, but not overwhelming. So hopefully we have the right kind of balance between, you know, fun and work, basically.
Hey, thanks a lot once again for taking the time, and all the best for the future. Anything you want to say as a closure to all the fans?
No, just happy. Hopefully, you know, you guys can feel that it's something interesting that we're working on and I've been doing. So I'm excited for this upcoming year, or next 2 years actually. But yeah, it's going to be a wild ride, a fun time. I'm excited, really excited.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.